Hallo liebe Leute, wir sind zurück da und heute lernen wir über B2.2. Also im letzten Video haben wir B2.1 einen Inhalt gesehen und in diesem Video lernen wir über B2.2 Inhalt. As I have already explained about B2.1 syllabus and this one will go according to B2.2 syllabus. And I have already explained you about everything, the class structures and everything. So I will not repeat that in this video. We will straightforward jump towards our syllabus content where we have ended and we will feel today. Now, B2.2, this is a very, very, very important syllabus for your fluency, how to attain, and you will learn about new structures, new things, how to beautify your statements. Till now, you were restricted towards limited segment, but in this chapter, you will learn the beautification of the statements, the beautification of the sentences, right? So, lass uns jetzt anfangen. Let's begin now. Also, in Einheit 7, basically, this is what they have done now. They have divided the books into two parts and they have made that B2.1 and B2.2. So, in Einheit 7, basically the first chapter, but this in B2, if I count, it's the seventh chapter, right? So, in Einheit 7 haben wir ein besonders schönes Thema. I love this topic. This will help you to score marks in your examinations. That is basically Nomen, Verb, Verbindungen. Das heißt NVV in short. Noun, Verb, Verbindung, basically noun verb connection. What happens there? A noun and a verb, they come together to form a specific meaning. Basically, instead of using a particular verb, you can use that particular NVV. Zum Beispiel haben wir Fragen. Start des Verbs Fragen können wir auch normalerweise das benutzen. Das geht so. Eine Frage stellen. Zum Beispiel, ich muss sagen, ich möchte Sie fragen. Oder ich kann auch sagen, dass ich möchte Sie eine Frage stellen. So instead of using Fragen, I'm using this particular noun and verb connection. It is basically, people sometimes ask the question, why do we have this? But see, simply, it's just the beautification. If you were using something else before, now you're using something else. That is what it is. Und dann haben wir in the seventh chapter only, wir haben viele temporale Konnektoren und temporale Zusammenhänge. Können Sie mir erklären, was bedeutet das Wort temporal? Is that temporary? Nein, temporal bedeutet time related. Any time related conjunction of preposition, whatever it is, we refer to as temporal, right? Und dann haben wir Beispiele. So, okay, wir haben diese Beispiele, tut mir leid. And in this particular segment of temporal, we have a very beautiful topic that is Nachdem. I particularly myself explained that thing in B1 only, but I will have a brief discussion about this topic in this syllabus. Und danach in Einheit 8 haben wir dieses, Entschuldigung, Moment. Ja. In Einheit 8 haben wir dieses, das ist, see, you might have done a topic, Verben mit festen Präpositionen. Basically, that is verbs with fixed preposition. So das haben wir, if I have taught you, I will already have made you learn around 100 verbs with fixed prepositions in B1 only, right? Aber in B2 haben wir Nomen, Verben und Adjektive mit Präpositionen. Basically, what happens, it is not compulsory that only verbs have a fixed preposition. Noun also have a fixed preposition. Verbs also have fixed prepositions, and even prepositions have, and even adjectives also have their fixed preposition. So three of them, they can have fixed prepositions. So that's what we will see in this chapter also, right? And then further on, we have Nebensätze mit als und wie. Aber basically that will express what, das wie kann man etwas vergleichen. Vergleichen bedeutet to compare. So how one can compare something. Zum Beispiel, was kann man mit wie vergleichen und was kann man mit als vergleichen, lernen wir in dieser Einheit. We learn in this chapter. And not the simple form which we have learned in A2 and B1. This is a complex version, basically how to form Nebensatz with them, right? Und danach haben wir jedes do. If you remember, wenn wir zwei teilige Konnektoren in B1 gemacht haben, zuerst haben wir jedes do gemacht. If we have done double connectors in B1, personally, it is mentioned in B1 12th chapter or 11th chapter, 12th, I guess, right? But I personally teach you as a first double connector in 8th chapter only. So this is jedes do, which has no meaning in English, but in Hindi we have jitna utna. In English we can say it's like, the more the less. In that way we use jedes do also. Das ist von Einheit 8 und dann kommen wir zur Einheit 9. In Einheit 9 haben wir diese Grammatikregel. Also das ist der Subjektlose Passivsätze. Okay, that's a beautiful topic. Basically, subjectless passive sentences. If you remember something in B1, I would have taught you. If I teach you, then in B1 I teach you about that thing. That there is a scenario when there are no when there is no subject in passive sentences. There are situations like that, right? Especially that happens with dative objects and all, right? There I taught you one simple thing, that you can use a dummy subject s, right? So about that, about this topic only, we will have a brief discussion about this thing in this syllabus only and in this chapter also. Und danach haben wir noch einige Gegengründe und Widersprüche ausdrücken. Again, basically that's about consequences expression, about some Hauptsatz, Nebensatz, right? In Hauptsatz haben wir das Verb am zweiten Position, aber in Nebensatz das Verb geht am Ende, right? So, das ist das, was wir in dieser Einheit lernen müssen. Und das ist sehr, sehr wichtig, Passivsätze. Und in Einheit 10 in Einheit 10 haben wir so, das ist Grammatik in Blick noch einmal. Das ist basically, it's a very, very beautiful topic. That is where there. It is a segment or extension of relative only. Yeah, it is extension of relative only. But the main thing that comes up, that is how to use that. I used to in my life, to be very honest, om ehrlich zu sein, wenn ich Ihnen wirklich sage, dann ich mag dieses Thema. I would always start the conversations and all the things with this topic only. Where there's one of those topics, though I used to start, or but maximum like times I have ended the topic with this topic. Like goes like this: who does this, that person gets this. For example, so wer mich kennt, who knows me, der weiß, he knows, dass ich spontan bin, then I'm spontan. So this is a beautiful topic to end any of your conversation and anything out there. And in this chapter, we have one again beautiful thing. This used to be there in C1 also. It is again there. It will be again there. But yeah, you have Vorgangspassive and Zustandspassive. So basically, the passive which you have learned in B1 and B2.1, this will get some extension in B2.2. Basically, in the previous chapter, as in Einheit 9, ninth chapter, you might have seen, we just saw that, okay, there is something with passive, dative and all. There is something going on where we have no subject over there. And in this chapter, we are seeing that there's something called Vorgangspassive and Zustandspassive. So we will briefly look at this area. Und danach in Einheit 11 haben wir, Moment, danke, also diese. Wie, wodurch und wie. So basically in this chapter, we will learn about some, in short, if I say, they are just kind of some connectors and prepositions only. So I have to teach you some different variety, some diversity of this area. Und danach haben wir etwas Schönes, something very beautiful. Das ist Konjunktiv 1. Das sagen wir K1. Remember, K1 and K2, these two topics have no connection between each other. They are very, very different. K1 we specifically use for example, when we express the Rede Wiedergabe. Like when wir Rede Wiedergabe ausdrücken möchten, benutzen wir K1. Basically, for example, I tell a statement to a friend of mine. For example, I tell a statement to Rupal. Now, Rupal tells that statement to some other person. So, what Rupal will do, she would use that particular thema or topic of eins over there to formulate that statement, right? Here, what happens? The conjugation changes. There's a big change over there that the conjugation get changed. Now, people do what that they, for example, I will tell you my experience. What happened? I was in A2 or somewhere, and a guy from B2 he came and told me, "Don't worry, whatever you are learning, everything will change, and you will learn about something where conjugation gets changed." I was very worried. Oh man, conjugation is going to change. Don't no worries for that. It is just for this topic that in certain situations we are going to use ka eins, otherwise we will never do that. Right? So it will be a beautiful topic. I have very good worksheets on this, so we will learn this topic with the help of those worksheets, right? Und dann in der letzten Einheit, in the last chapter, haben wir diese. Das ist, wir lernen über Gegenwart, Vergangenheit, right? Basically, Footwork 1, Footwork 2, like, okay, everything. How to, basically, the main content is all about Vermutungen äußern, how to express your assumptions. Vermutungen bedeutet assumptions. So we will learn about this, about something weird. Footwork 1 we have already seen. Footwork 2 we will see in this chapter. Und danach haben wir adversative. Okay, basically something new. Not something very new, variant and all these things you might have already done. I'll explain to you about, especially about entgegen, jedoch, dagegen, like the contextual use of this, not the very grammatical use of this, right? So this will be the end of the syllabus in the grammatical segment. So now what will happen when your B2 will end? We will straightforward come to words B2 EP. There we will learn about the Goethe exam and TILC exam pattern of our B2 examination, of our B2 level, and I'll hope basically it's a good level. I believe that whenever you will end B2 with me, you will be able to speak very fluently, and you should indeed speak fluently if you have studied well. This level will give you a variety of all the things, everything, whatever you have done, then you can just use those particular words and everything in your sentences and make good sentences out there. And trust me, trust the process. This is one of the most beautiful level ever you will experience. I know this looks a bit boring, but no, it's not boring. It's really beautiful. It's just we need to give time, we need to speak more, and the what makes a syllabus interesting, what I have felt always, that is the worksheets, the grammar worksheets, the contextual worksheets, the expression exercises, and some writing part. You guys are sometimes lazy and you don't write, I know that. That's not a big deal, but the speaking segment, when the debates over there in this whole batch and spontaneous speaking in this level, in B2 or like point one, B2.1 and B2.2, we learn how to speak spontaneously without any break in between. For example, let's improvisation we do sometime, and sometime I just start the conversation like this. Okay, for example, I have two person, Aman and Ashwin. Okay, guys, start have a conversation about this topic. Imagine a scenario and speak about that and have a good word about them. So we will be, I can say you will be able to speak in front of anyone, anywhere. Right? Okay, so I'll look forward to you. Ich freue mich darauf, Sie so in dem Unterricht oder persönlich zu treffen. Dann sehen wir uns bald. See you soon. Tschüss, danke, auf Wiedersehen, ciao.